1,000
Minister-
kilometers from one coast to
Minister-
the other.
What is the average cost of an electric vehicle in Canada?
I don't know that by heart. We could provide that information to you by writing.
So you're going to be mandating Canadians to buy electric vehicles and you don't know the cost of them? You're confident electric vehicles can survive minus 45 degrees going across the prairies with 5 charging stations?
I don't own an electric vehicle. I don't own a vehicle, full stop.
So let me see if I have this right. The Liberals are mandating electric vehicles, and the person they put in charge of it has never owned or paid for a vehicle. Makes perfect sense.
I'm going to be focusing on the first line under budgetary voted appropriations with regards to electric vehicles. So your government will be mandating the sale of electric vehicles, and I represent rural Canadians. My riding in Dauphin Swan River Neep was geographically just slightly larger than the province of Nova Scotia. Do you know how many public charging stations there are in my riding?
I don't.
I didn't expect you to know. There are 5, Minister. And rural Canadians are really concerned that this policy that you're implementing, having a mandating buying vehicles, is out of touch of what the reality of what's happening in rural Canada. So why hasn't your government introduced an electric vehicle plan specifically designed for rural Canada?
I mean, we're allowing for the reality of rural Canada to be taken into account. First, we're not going for zero-emission vehicles tomorrow morning. We're going for zero-emission vehicles in 2035. We will be deploying. We're in the process of deploying 25,000 charging stations across the country, and we will do more after that. And our program also includes plug-in hybrids, which can work very well for people in remote community. I actually happen to know a number of people who aren't close to near urban centers and who have plug-in hybrids, and it works wonders for them.
So specifically, though, for rural Canada, like I have 2 national highways that actually go through my riding, the Yellowhead and the Trans-Canada. 5 charging stations, publicly charging stations. So there is no plan for rural Canada.
Of course there is. Of course, we will be deploying.
You're going to take them into account, is what I heard, but I didn't hear a specific plan.
We will be deploying this charging network stations all across the country, including in rural Canada. In Quebec, in 2015, we had 6 charging stations. We have more than 2,000 now. In a matter of 4 or 5 years, things can change really rapidly, and things are changing rapidly when it comes to electrification.
Yeah. You're confident electric vehicles can survive minus 45 degrees going across the prairies with 5 charging stations?
I don't own an electric vehicle. I don't own a vehicle, full stop, but my service vehicle is a fully electric, is 100% EV, and I take the train as much as I can between Montreal and Ottawa, but we take the car even in the winter, and it works.
Yep.
Norway, as you may know, is a cold country.
We're not talking about Norway.
50% of vehicles sold in the cold country that is Norway are electric vehicles today. It can be done.
Not the size of Canada, though.
3,000 kilometers from one coast to the other.
What is the average cost of an electric vehicle in Canada?
I don't know that by heart. We could provide that information to you by writing.
So you're going to be mandating Canadians to buy electric vehicles and you don't know the cost of them?
Again, 50% by 2030, 100% by 2035. Most experts agree that by 2024, 2025, there will be no cost difference between internal combustion engine and electric vehicles. So our mandate
today, though,
will come.
Canadians are concerned about today.
But we're not mandating anything today, sir.
Okay. So they're right now.
We're encouraging.
So Toyota was in front of the committee here a while back, and they said that basically the average cost of a zero emissions vehicle was $56,000, double the price of a gas-powered vehicle. So, Minister, the average median household income in my riding is just below $50,000. Not all Canadians make $270,000 like you, Minister. So do you believe these vehicles are affordable?
First, as I said, most experts agree that by 2024, 2035, there will be no cost difference between electric vehicle and internal combustion engine. And our mandate comes years after that. The first part of the mandate comes in 2030. So way before the cost difference between internal combustion engine and electric vehicles will come into force. And you have to remember that right now EVs are more expensive to buy. They're way cheaper to operate. And if you look at the full life cycle cost of owning and operating a vehicle, there are substantial my apologies, savings, thank you, Mr. Chair, that can be done. So simply looking at the cost of purchasing the vehicle is only looking at half of the equation.
Finished. Here's your new number.
I thought 646 was just for new numbers.
This is a new number.
It's not different. It's the same, just changed.
Look, I work for the phone company, so don't try to lure me into some maze of circular logic.
This word salad game that the Liberals play is zero emissions vehicles. There's no such thing. Let's talk about resale value, because basically after 10 years, an electric vehicle doesn't have one. How long is it before they actually introduce a recycling fee? Everything else electronic has a recycling fee. If I had to compare the modern day electric vehicle to any other vehicle, it would be the Model A. It was better than a horse, but the infrastructure really wasn't in place to make it work for quite a while. And we're not there yet with electric vehicles. The cost of ownership, the vehicle's capacity to get you where you need to go, are all quite limited. If you were going to race an electric vehicle across the country and have it be a fair race, it would have to be against the Model A. It's the only thing it'd have a chance with. I don't know if it'd get past the horse and buggy. If you're going to talk about an electric vehicle, why aren't we developing the technology to get off the plug? You want to make an electric vehicle that when I buy it, I no longer have to put fuel in it? The exoskeleton has, when the whole exterior of the vehicle becomes a solar panel and we never have to plug it in, and we can drive anywhere we want to go with no cost of ownership after the fact, other than maintenance, I'd be willing to talk about that. Nobody's talking about that. Just producing the batteries for an electric vehicle is a dirty business.
News investigation finds we could be carrying electronics that contain the product of child labor. A report by Amnesty International 2 years ago first uncovered that children were mining the mineral cobalt in the Democratic Republic of Congo, or DRC as it's known. It ended up in products from dozens of companies, including Apple, Microsoft, Tesla, and Samsung. Cobalt is needed in batteries powering common devices like our cell phones, laptops, and in the growing number of electric cars.
They're digging in trenches and laboring in lakes, hunting for treasure in a playground from hell.
So you're trading a form of carbon emissions that you don't like for a form of pollution that you do like. So let's talk about the elephant in the room. I live in Nova Scotia. More than 70% of our energy is provided by coal. You can see the windmills in the background, but I can tell you this, there's not enough windmills in the world today to make another windmill, depending on the power that a windmill can make. So when we're talking about zero emission vehicles, this is what they're plugged into. Not even to mention the fact that the environmental disaster is going to be coming up to try to deal with all these batteries. And as with everything, the cost of ownership with an electric vehicle goes up. Anybody that owns an electronic device, like a laptop for example, same battery technology. When you first get that laptop, you can walk away from the plug for a couple hours. Then with each charge, the runtime becomes smaller. And eventually, it's always plugged into the wall. So let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and we'll see you on the next one. They've gone mad, folks. They've gone mad. They're drunk with power.